Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
Alright, listen. I know you all smoke weed. I know this. So y'all better be getting high today. Cause it's Friday. Y'all on lockdown. And you got shit to do. Bang your head to the opening riff.
Shut up and sit down.
Excuse me while I light my spliff. Spliff. I need to take a lift. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to episode 83 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. I am your boy, J-Dub. And hoping that this episode is finding everybody not only still staying safe and as healthy as can possibly be, but I'm hoping that this finds everybody coming off the heels of one hellacious holiday that is 420. The ultimate 420, y'all. I didn't even think about that shit until I was in the midst of 420 myself and I realized, holy shit. Not only, well, yeah, it's April 20th, 2020, but that actually makes it, if you really think about it, April 2020, which made it 4/2020. That's some hardcore 420 shit, y'all. So I'm hoping that everybody not only had a good time, but hoping that everybody, hoping that y'all didn't smoke up all your shit either. Just to finish out the holiday, because let's hope that nobody went Dankrupt on this 420, because it's not like the shit is legal yet to where we could just, walk out the door, go up to the fucking 7-Eleven, buy a pack of joints, come back home and smoke away. One day we will reach that pitch. I know this. I have hope. I got dreams, and they're coming to fruition slowly but surely. But not only that, you can't even go to your man that you usually get your shit from without worrying about catching something that isn't a goddamn high. So, once again, hope you didn't go Dankrupt. I mean, if you did, then that's what we're here for, because you're going to need something to fill that void, especially within those first couple days if you were a hardcore smoker. Anywho, but while we are on the topic of 420 here, I would like to pose this question to all my fellow Rushaholics out there. And let me bust the scenario for you. So when all this shit is said and done and things get back to normal, and I do mean get back to normal, this whole buzzword bullshit of the quote-unquote new normal, that's fucking propaganda jerking off at its fucking best, y'all. Normal means, I don't know if this is like Webster's fucking exact definition of the shit, but normal means like that is the standard for a long time to come until something else takes its place. Until something new takes its place. See, what we're trying to get back here to is our lives as we knew it. That isn't new. That shit is not necessarily old either. It's just on hold. So what we're going through right now is a fucking temporary phase. It is not the new normal, because that sounds way too goddamn permanent. So stop listening to all that buzzword bullshit. It's just a temporary phase. We will get back to normal at some point. Yet I digress. Once we do get back to normal, and we get, back to, hanging out with our peoples and whatnot, and having a good time, when it does come time for the puff puff pass, and you see that man or that woman to the right of you hit that puff puff, and here comes the pass your way, given the current situation, Will you trust that pass? Things to make you go, And if you still a little blended from this past Monday's holiday, then I'm pretty sure I just blew your fucking mind right out the back of its skull, symbolically, metaphorically speaking, of course, right then and there. So that's something to think on once we do get back to normal. Yet I digress, y'all. Why don't we go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of what is on the episode 83 ticket for y'all this episode. And I want to kick things off here with a movie that we were actually supposed to go see up at the Angelica on Friday, March 13th. We had a triple threat Angelica Day planned for that day, y'all. But unfortunately, that didn't get to happen because that was the day that shit really started hitting the fan, and your boy went ahead and put the whole fucking Rush compound on the self-imposed lockdown just in the effort to try to beat what we already knew what the fuck was coming. Yet I digress. And why we didn't get to see this movie up at the Angelica. The cool part is same as Cinema Arts, the Angelica is offering quite the selection of movies that are available for rent via streaming, online, on demand, what have you. And if you rent them through either the Angelica or the Cinema Arts, their respective websites, as I mentioned for Corpus Christi in a couple episodes back, that Cinema Arts and or Angelica will get a portion of the rental proceeds. Henceforth, keeping the theaters alive. Hashtag support movie theaters, y'all. Hashtag support movie theaters. All the way. Anywho, movie that we gonna kick things off here with on this episode's Real Rush Ticket is called The Road's Not Taken. The Road's Not Taken stars Javier Bardem as a man named Leo, and it follows him on a mental journey of sorts as his mind thinks over not only the life path that he's ultimately chosen, but the, lack of a better term, alternate life paths that he could have gone down, that he could have followed. But at the same time, his daughter Molly, played by the lovely Elle Fanning, is trying to understand his mental struggles so that way as his caretaker she can continue to be the one person in his life to have that 100 bridge of communication between father and daughter, y'all. This movie's also starring Laura Linney and Salma Hayek. Quite the stacked cast. The cast alone sold me on this when I saw the poster up at the Angelica. Yeah, on it. Plus the fact that it's directed by Sally Potter, who also directed 2017's The Party, which I've been ranting and raving about ever since we saw it up at the Angelica early season 2 of The Real Rush. Been highly recommended that ever since then. If you haven't seen it yet, catch it where you can find it. Yet I digress. Let's get back to The Road's Not Taken. I thought The Road's Not Taken was quite well pulled off, y'all. The best way that I can describe this movie, if The Real Rush was like established enough to where like TV spots for movies were taking my quotes and shit to put them on like their TV spots, like the year's best film, says Peter Travers of the Rolling Stone, or The Real Rush calls this, and I quote, a literal, cerebral, psychological drama. The Road's Not Taken, rated R, in theaters everywhere. That's how it would read if it was playing on a TV spot and shit. But yes, that's exactly what The Road's Not Taken is. That's the way that I read it. It is a literal, cerebral, and psychological drama. Javier Bardem, you know the man kills it in every single role that he pretty much has ever done. And this role that he plays as Leo is, albeit no different, but albeit he's still killing it, but you do get a little bit of a different Javier Bardem than we're used to seeing, at least than we're used to seeing in his American release roles. Elle Fanning, holding it down, still up and coming as an actress. We saw her in Teen Spirit just last year. She kills it in that. So staying with both the Fannings, fucking kill it every time they come on screen, y'all. And Salma Hayek and Laura Linney, the short times that they're on screen. Very well done between all four of y'all. All four of y'all, y'all. The movie itself, as I've already stated, I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. I loved it. The editing is so on point in this movie, and it's even driven further by a music score that was scored by director Sally Potter. So she was holding it down, doing like behind the camera, all sorts of shit. Not only holding it down behind the camera, making sure that she pulled off an awesome movie with the action that was happening in front of the camera lens, but what you're going to be hearing throughout the movie as well. So, well done, Miss Potter. This takes quite, and I can't say literal enough, this takes quite the literal look inside one's head and mind, and it is full of visual metaphors. So you gotta keep your eyes open, because you will miss some shit in this movie. Just like The Party that Sally Potter directed, this movie is not that long. The Party was only like an hour and 19 minutes. And just like The Party, this movie kicks off right from the jump. It takes you on a ride, and it doesn't let you go until the end credits start rolling. This movie's only a little bit longer, running it at a running time of an hour and 25 minutes. It did not feel like an hour and 25 minutes. It felt more like an hour that this movie was. I liked how this movie displays in very bright detail about getting caught up in your own head about life choices and the what ifs. Because I know I've done that, and that's just the human thing to do. Everybody always thinks like, well, what if I dated old girl and married her instead? Like, what would my life be like if I had done that instead of doing what I'm doing now? Or if I had taken this job offer, it can go down different paths. And this movie does a fantastic fucking job of being able to display that on screen. Now, overall, including the ending, I think it's going to throw most viewers of this movie for a loop. Quote unquote, most people won't get it. And I kind of don't like saying that, but it's fucking kind of true. You got to go into this movie with the right kind of mindset. You have to go into this movie with empathy on your mind and the ability to be able to put yourself in another's shoes for the duration of this movie helps one better understand this movie all the better. I think I pretty much got it on my first view. However, some may not, but don't write it right off if you don't get it on your first view. Some may require a second viewing of this to get that full aha moment. Don't forget, some of the greatest movies required a second viewing. Fight Club, probably the greatest second viewing movie of all goddamn time. But once again, don't write it off. Give it as many viewings as you need, and you will eventually get this movie. I really liked how this movie tackles also how to care. Not only how to care, but also how to treat loved ones, or those that you don't even know. Just those who were quote-unquote confused. And that's the best way that I could put this movie without spoiling anything for y'all. And ultimately, what I love the most about this movie is how it does tackle what bearing and what impact your life choices has on others, especially your family, even though you 9 times out of 10 don't know what kind of impact you're really having. Boom. The Road's Not Taken, y'all. Check it out. It is available on demand via the Angelica Film Center website or through the Bleecker Street website as well. There's your info. $12 rental, at least it was through the Angelica website. And give this movie a view. Let your boy know what you thought about this one, because I do want to get more people's takes on The Road's Not Taken. The Road's Not Taken, rated R. Check it out, y'all. Moving right along to what's next on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. We about to wrap up our all month 420 section right here, and we gonna kick off this last section of 420ness here on the Real Rush with not only one of my all-time favorite smokable tokable movies, smokable tokable comedies, but One that is world renowned and loved. Many people's all-time favorite smokable, tokable comedies. And I am talking about, excuse me, Friday. And we're not just talking about Friday. We talking about you can't read that. It says Friday, the director's cut, y'all. And I was about to go into this review stating that I don't think a lot of people even know that this fucking thing exists, just because of the fact that the director's cut, it's written kind of small on the front of the Blu-ray cover here, so it's very easily overlooked if you're just glancing over it in the Blu-ray section of whatever store you happen to be in. I don't even remember if I noticed it or not until I got home, yet I digress. So, if you haven't seen Friday, what's it all about? Well, this follows a day in life in the hood of two best buds, Craig and Smokey, played by Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, as they're dealing with, normal hood shit, including having to deal with a drug dealer that may or may not be out to kill him if he doesn't get his money by a certain time on this certain Friday. And this movie changed the game, y'all. This came out in the mid-90s. This joint dropped in 95. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, this weekend celebrates the 25th anniversary of this joint. So happy anniversary, happy 25th, happy silver, I think that's silver, to Friday, y'all. This joint dropped in 1995, right in the midst of the 90s, when we had already had a slew of hood movies come out. Not so much hood comedies, but just hood movies. And that's one thing that this movie changed the game about, because this was not only the first hood comedy to really make it big in the theaters, but this was the first hood movie that showed the hood in a positive light. Because up until that point, what did we have? We had like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Poetic Justice, which, I mean, was more romantic and whatnot, but there was some gully shit that happened in that movie too. We had like Original Gangsters, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. We didn't really have anything to, make you laugh about what's going on in the hood. And that's where, who wrote this? It was written by Ice Cube and DJ Pooh. And that's where they changed the game on this shit. So, the director's cut. Let's get down to the review of that. This joint is 6 minutes longer than the original. I knew that an alternate cut of this movie existed after seeing it on, I think it was USA, in either the late 90s or the early 2000s. It came on right after Monday Night Raw, and there were some scenes that were added, now albeit it was the TV version of it, but there were some scenes that were added that I hadn't seen in the regular version before, and I had already seen the regular version a million times up until that point. Now, at that point, I had to ask myself, were those scenes added to, fill out TV time, since they probably had to cut out so much shit, so much actual shit and fucks? Because you couldn't say that on USA back in those days? Or could it just be that an alternate cut of this movie existed somewhere? I didn't find it. I didn't know that it actually did exist until I found this Blu-ray up at Best Buy just like a year or two ago, as a matter of fact. The added scenes to this movie are, all caps, golden, y'all. They could have honestly been left in my honest opinion, including the fact that I think that this version gives Friday a more complete ending, and overall it makes it feel like if John Hughes were to make a comedy about living in the hood. Let that sink in. I saw this joint. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm about to spit. Well, kinda. We did say this was the first in the midst of 90s hood movies. Even though we're talking about things in a comedic light, this does have a few scenes of poignancy and realness to keep with the, what was really happening in the hood and shit. I saw this movie for the first time in 8th grade. I didn't start smoking weed for another 4 years after that shit. Close to 5 years after that shit. This movie had me rolling before I even knew what a bong was and shit like that. Then I saw it a couple years later, baked, still made me laugh. Then, many years later, just a couple nights ago, watched the very director's cut, Not only is it still funny as fuck, but the director's cut actually made this movie fresh all over again. I don't know how many movies you can say that about here, y'all. When I reviewed Pineapple Express on here last week, yeah, it was the extended cut. It had a few added scenes that I think I might have noticed or not, but I don't think that they quite helped the movie flow. I could totally say the complete opposite for this movie. Safe bet that you're going to get more out of the director's cut, not just because there's more in it, but you're actually going to walk away from this more fulfilled. This is a hood comedy that the whole world loves and enjoys, and that everyone can identify with. It doesn't matter if you living in the hood or not. Everybody knows a Smokey. Everybody knows a Smokey, y'all. Hands down. Oh, and this was a sleeper hit phenom out of nowhere, and that was a rarity not just for comedies at that time, but and not just for hood movies. But you put the two together, that's quite rare for still to this day for a hood comedy. Nobody. I remember when we started seeing TV spots drop for this, and it was like people were already writing it off. It was like, that's a black movie. Not too many people are gonna go see that. Smashed box office records all over the place. Put that shit in your fucking pipe and smoke it. Hands down, this is still the best in the trilogy. We're still waiting on that fourth one, Julio. That shit can drop anytime now. Check out the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray of the director's cut as well. I did see that the director's cut, as I stated a couple moments ago, is available to buy on Amazon Prime, though it is sans the Blu-ray extras. So you want to get the extra shit, get the Blu-ray. The deleted scenes, the only one that I really want to, they're all funny as fuck, but the one that I really want to single out is The Munchies. It's titled as so in the Blu-ray. That one honestly could have stayed in the movie. And the movie would have been 99 minutes, and it would have been that much fucking funnier. Friday, the director's cut. Check it out. And if you haven't even seen Friday yet, boom. Ultimate Edition, right here. This is what you want to start off with. This is what you want to start off with. This guy isn't going to steer you wrong. I'm not going to be like some other asshole and tell people that we should start injecting people with fucking disinfectant and shit. Yet I digress. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Tickets. Let's move right along. And we going to go from director's cut to sequels. And a sequel that I want to kick things off with here is... Does this shit look familiar? Because we done already reviewed 2 movies out of this motherfucker. And there was one more left in it, and I said I was going to get to it. Of course, I am talking about Ted 2. And Ted 2 follows the lovable, albeit, somewhat ragged teddy bear. Raunchy, I meant to say, teddy bear. It follows him on his journey as he's fighting for his civil rights in this joint, y'all. Ted 2. Same as Ted 1. It's total Seth MacFarlane shit all the way. Complete with the movie and TV throwback references. So if you know your movies and you know your TV shows, then you know what movies that he's referencing. Just like Family Guy and shit does. Just like that. If you know your movies and TV well enough, and the history of, then you'll be able to get every single reference that's in this movie. Plus the cameos that are in this movie, y'all. Well, fucking done. This movie right here, I am still to this day having a hard time deciding which one was better. Ted 1 or Ted 2. It's not very often that you can say that about a duo of movies. Most times than not, people are going to say, well, the original obviously slams it out of the park. But I'm still kind of struggling with that. I just watched this for the second time ever just the other night so I could refresh myself and review this for you. Still struggling with that one. I will say this one is more outrageous than my honest opinion. This one is the unrated version. So not only did we watch the sequel, but we watched the unrated version a couple nights ago. Not the theatrical version that I saw in the theater, which I don't remember much of because I did see it in the theater quite big. A lot of shit came flooding back to me in this movie and then some, but I don't think I was too terribly baked when I saw this in the theater because I think I have a I think I have a good grasp on what got added to the uncut, extended, unrated version in here. It's 9 minutes longer, runs in at a running time of 2 hours and 6 minutes, y'all. But anywho, Ted and Ted 2, both of them funny as hell, Seth MacFarlane type comedy all the way. If that's your bag, and if it ain't your bag, laughs should be had either fucking way, y'all. Plus, Ted 2's got the ultimate narrator of all time, Morgan Freeman, in it. And anything that's got Morgan Freeman in it is gonna be fucking awesome, man. Ted 2. Check it out where you can. I don't know if you can get the unrated versions or not streaming, but if you can find the director's cut of Friday streaming, then you should be able to find this streaming too. But I would say go ahead, check out on BestBuy.com and get yourself the Ted vs. Flash Gordon Ultimate Collection. And collect the whole set, y'all. Ted 2, check it out. Last but most certainly not least, well, not only this episode's Real Rush ticket, but of the 420 section for this month of April of Ultimate 420. We're going to wrap things up here with Super Troopers 2 Meow. And Super Troopers 2 follows our beloved Vermont State Troopers as after border restructuring turns a portion of Canada into a part of Vermont, well, our beloved troopers find themselves at odds with the local Mounties as they both are more or less fighting to solve the crime of a border smuggling ring. Does that sound familiar? It should, because this movie is pretty much the same as the first Super Troopers. But the great thing about it is that the formula, albeit about 17 years in between the movies, it still fucking works. It's not quite as good as the first. However, it is still funny as hell, y'all. It is not too distant of a second in the series. I saw this in the theaters on opening day on 420 2 years ago. Same as Ted 2. I can only remember bits and pieces of the movie because of the high laughter that was going on all the time. I did watch this with a clear head, and this is one thing that I did notice about this, is that I think that a little bit of the green will actually enhance Super Troopers. Enhance it for you just a little bit. It'll get them laughs rolling just a little bit more. Make sure that you do stay through the entire end of credits, but overall, Super Troopers 2, just like its predecessor, even though it's not as good, it's still quite damn good, meow. Pop in Super Troopers 2. I think it's playing on Cinemax and HBO now as we speak, so check it the hell out, y'all. And that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 82 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back here next weekend with episode 83. What's going to be in it? I don't fucking know. Your guess is as good as mine. We wrapping up all month 420. So it'll be just as a surprise to me what comes up in the next episode as it will to y'all. But make sure you stay tuned for that shit. But I do want to let y'all know that could there possibly be some works coming from your boy's beloved Stagecoach Bandits in the works? On the horizon? Stay tuned for more info that is sure to come on that shit, y'all. But in the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, feel free to type those on into the YouTube page where you're reviewing this week's episode right here, right now. To everybody who has subscribed to The Real Rush right here on YouTube, thank you for having done so. If you haven't done so, what the hell are you waiting on? You want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode? Please share the word. Spread the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. Even though you can't hug a motherfucker these days, you can still talk to people through text and through like FaceTime and shit like that. So let them know about The Real Rush, y'all. And let them know that The Real Rush does have replay value, especially for this month. So this month, for us covering all types of 420 shit, play all of this month's episodes. Get yourself all your fix of 420 shit. But any movie that you want to know what your boy thought about and get a good honest to God review on, all you gotta do is go up to the YouTube search bar at the top of the page here, type in quotation marks, The Real Rush, followed by, outside of quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom, instant movie review on demand for you, because The Real Rush and your boy J-Dub got you covered for life, son. And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. You can follow your boy at J-Dub Champion. Hashtag The Real Rush will also be provided up to the date movie updates for you as well. In the meantime, ladies and gents, thanks for joining us here on The Real Rush, episode 82, right here on YouTube. Enjoy yourselves. Take the time to chill out, y'all. Enjoy your loved ones, enjoy your friends. But do remember, stay safe, stay healthy out there, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. We'll see you next weekend. Peace. Porchy died on the way back to his home planet, and he was a hip little pup. It's fucked up what they did to him. Porchy, Poochie, the rapping fucking dog, man. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what